Sarah, thank you so much. So right now we're taking a look at a radar. This is a smaller scale synoptic system. Matter of fact, you can see it rotating just north of the hill country. It's almost like a small hurricane, how its convective bands are just cranking into parts of Bandera, Kerr, Kendall County. And again, we've mentioned this in the last several hours. It's going over the same spots that's already received heavy amounts of rain, flooding concerns over Kerr County near Hunt, Texas, where the Guadalupe River is already experiencing major flood stage concerns. So again, this is where that convective system is now moving through. It's about and approaching the I-35 corridor. Notice that there is a break in sight out in Rock Springs, west of the hill country, and this is moving towards Kerrville. So that's the saving grace. We'll see a break in activity or things can recover later this afternoon and this evening. But in the meantime, as we zoom in, more light to moderate rain. You can see additional showers are firing up on the northwest side of San Antonio and Bexar County. But where the thunder and lightning, where these training thunderstorms are focused in on, is near Bandera, just northeast of Utopia, Texas 27, eastern Kerr County, where again, this is where the concern has been between Hunt, Kerrville, Comfort, Texas, towards Bernie. Matter of fact, Kendall County is just blanketed with widespread rain where there are some embedded heavy downpours and some thunder and lightning, the heaviest of which is now crossing and moving east of 281 and approaching the I-35 corridor between there, Blanco, Dripping Springs, for example, and that's going to continue to move east. But here's the area where, the catastrophic flooding has been the main headline these last 6 to 8 hours. This started at 1:30, 1:45 this morning and just hasn't stopped raining, which has resulted in a byproduct of that is about a foot of rain. Take a look. The radar is estimating right here, the bullseye location between southern Kerr County towards Hunt, where you can see the gradient just ramps up so fast, right? I mean, you had showers and storms to the east, but the ones that were over Hunt, Ingram, and west of Kerrville just sat over the same area nonstop, just pouring in buckets and buckets of rain, where you can see out in Hunt, Texas, the radar is still estimating as of, 12:22 p.m. today, about 11 inches in some of these areas outside of Hunt, Texas, which again, that is leading to the influx of rain that's leading into the Guadalupe River between there, Kerrville, Comfort, and towards Center Point and eastern parts of Kerr County. Here are some of the updates on the river level. So right now, the Guadalupe River at Comfort, for example, earlier this morning, it was rising, but now it's cresting. It's pretty much right at its peak at 34 feet, and that's right about now, between now and about 1 p.m. Guadalupe River at Kerrville receding, same thing over at Hunt and at Center Point. They crested earlier this morning, so the worst of it for most parts of the Guadalupe River is in the past, but we're still experiencing more of that rain that could aggravate the situation across Kerr County, so we're watching that very, very closely. Here's the weather impact alert, still in effect for today. Flooding possible. Stay weather aware. Have the KENS 5 app. Download KENS 5 Plus for free, and you can have consistent weather updates as we get more information here at KENS 5. Here's another update on Kerrville for the Guadalupe River. Now at 23 feet, it's going to continue to improve. If you're wondering, what's the record? 39 feet, major flood stage earlier back in the 1980s. 23 feet is at right now. And here's the Guadalupe River at Hunt, now at about 30 feet, major flood stage at 22 feet. So it's exceeded that. And the record is 36.6 feet. And it's going to continue to improve, but slowly, as the radar is still pretty active. As you can see, here it is right here. Again, there's that large scale system that's moving through the hill country. And notice that there's these pockets of tropical rain that are cranking in from the southwest and moving northeast across parts of Kerr County, Bandera County, Kendall County, Gillespie County. And as long as we see additional development on that southwestern side, even though there's a break out to the west, we're going to have to watch these little bands of rain, because that could, again, aggravate the situation and just crank in an additional maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain when they've already seen about 11 to 12. And notice again, there's the radar between Johnson City, Blanco, Canyon Lake is getting a good soaking right now, and more soaking rain is on the way from Bernie all the way into parts of Hays County along the I-35 corridor. And there's the radar estimate, and even more towards Mason, Brady, there were an additional pocket of about 15 inches of rain across parts of central Texas. And these thunder showers and storms are capable of dropping an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain in near Bernie, parts of Bandera County, south of Comfort and Kerrville. Again, there's that break in activity. It's moving in our direction, so that'll help things a little bit by about the 2 and 3 o'clock hour, as less rain is likely by later on tonight. Here's the flash flood watch in effect until 1 p.m. from the National Weather Service. This does include Bexar County. Here's future radar. One more wave of rain through about 1 o'clock, and then by this evening, mostly cloudy, maybe a leftover spotty isolated shower. By tomorrow morning, we may see a redevelopment of rain into the early part of the weekend. Based on this forecast model, it starts off east and then it may push farther west. And if that does happen, if this particular forecast run verifies, that'll push towards Bernie, Kerrville. We'll have to watch the trend on these forecast models, but we are expecting at least some redevelopment overnight into early tomorrow morning during the pre-dawn hours. And depending where these heavy pockets of rain situate themselves, that could aggravate the problem of flash flooding that's already occurring in Kerrville and parts of northern Kerr County, Kendall County, and Bandera County. Here's today's forecast. High temperature, lower to middle 80s. The cloud cover and the rain is really going to help with temperatures. Maybe a few breaks in the sky later on this afternoon. Again, that flash flood watch is in effect until 1 p.m. today. Here's the 4th of July weekend forecast. High temperature of 90 tomorrow. Best chance at rain primarily in the early morning hours pre-dawn, and then maybe lingering into the early afternoon. Sunday, high temperature of 93, partly cloudy skies, and things trending down on the rain chances and rain coverage. Here's one last look at that large-scale convective system that's moving towards the I-35 corridor. So as long as this is with us, this is going to continue to crank in moisture. But good news, guys, we have this moving farther east, and this should improve things by later on tonight. But in the meantime, next couple of hours, we're going to have to watch out for these additional showers and storms that do move into the area, San Antonio, Kerrville, and across the hill country.